Welcome to Pennsylvania in Focus. I'm Anthony Hinnon, Pennsylvania reporter for the Center Square. Joining me today is the Center Square's Pennsylvania editor, Kristen Smith. Kristen, we saw this week a policy committee hearing concerned about artificial intelligence and the potential dangers, potential benefits, and we had software developers warning us that this is not a big deal, right? What's happening?
So House Democrats held a policy committee hearing earlier this week, and they talked to tech, they talked to healthcare professionals, they talked to academic researchers about the pros and cons of artificial intelligence, specifically generative artificial intelligence, and how we are using it in these major areas of our lives. And some of the questions about it from lawmakers, they ranged from the more practical, like how do we protect personal information that generative AI would store? How would we protect that from nefarious actors? And then, or how would it be used to, for example, health data and your insurance coverage? Just more practical concerns like that. Two, lawmakers asking questions about, for lack of a better word, the robot apocalypse. I mean, there is a range of concerns about AI in our world and how it's emerging. And what's interesting about it is the first testifier before the committee was actually a Microsoft executive. And he was asked point blank several times, did he think that AI could develop a moral compass or moral agency in the way that a human can? And his demeanor suggested that not only did he find the question ridiculous, but it was almost as if he'd never considered it or even heard the question before. And he was very definitive in saying, no, he does not think that generative AI will ever be sentient and that it should always require human intervention.
So does it seem like, there's some state level regulations coming in the future on this? Is this just kind of a fact-finding mission? What were we getting away from this policy committee hearing?
So I think lawmakers are already of the mind that they're going to have to step in and regulate this technology. Certainly, other panelists who testified before them made the same argument. They were more concerned about the dark side of AI than, say, Microsoft was, and said that the best way to guard against rogue or unattended consequences of AI would be to have very stringent regulation from lawmakers. And that stringent regulation would definitely include complete transparency about the guardrails that are put into the AI software to protect personal data or to keep it from being exposed to hackers, anything like that. Generative AI is something that is already embedded into our daily lives. And as some of the healthcare experts who testified said, it's something that can be really beneficial. One of the programs that they use takes personal health data from EKGs and other routine medical tests. And even if those results come back normal, they can use that data to look 10 years in the future and find out if someone's going to develop atrial fibrillation or some other kind of heart issue based on their current statistics and health. So there's definitely important reasons to regulate this technology, to make it something that is more understandable and accessible, but making sure that it can't go beyond the bounds of not just human intervention, but exploiting human mistake.
Listeners can keep up with this story and more at thecentersquare.com. For Kristen Smith, this is Anthony Hinnon. Please subscribe and thanks for listening.
Knowledge is power, and you deserve to know what happens in your state government. That's why the Center Square's reporting zeroes in on state authorities publishing stories that show where your money goes and who spends it. The Center Square gives power to the taxpayer by tracking politicians' use of the people's money and demanding transparency from state-run agencies. This is how the Center Square equips you, the American taxpayer, to hold your state government accountable. Sign up now for your state's Center Square newsletter at thecentersquare.com.